A gas theft in High Point as prices at the pump continue to rise.
And a major university announcement about what will break ground soon.
These stories and more, All Access starts right now. Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of HPU All Access. I'm Brooke Ruffin.
And I'm Anna Harris. First, a breaking campus update. This morning at midnight, candidates announced their bids for student government office. The two president and vice presidential duos are Shreya Rana with running mate Mia Clemens and Lizzie Eisenhart running alongside Taylor Gray. Both tickets have a secretary candidate, Jack Dalton, and Alina Rivers, respectively, with a single treasurer candidate on the ballot. This week, students are encouraged to learn more about the campaigns and those running for office. Voting will open to all undergraduate students, including seniors on HPU Connect.
Well, it's definitely going to be a busy week for High Point. Now let's head over to campus update reporter Diora Whitfield to hear the latest updates about the future of campus. Dior.
Good evening, High Point University. My name is Dior Whitfield, bringing you this week's campus update. Dr. Cubain recently made a historic announcement. The university has received $100 million from 3 separate families that will help fuel a $400 million expansion. This donation is funding a new school of law, a new 150,000 square foot library, and a new facility for HPU's School of Dental Medicine and Oral Health. $115 million was donated in student life facilities. $80 million was allocated for the new Panthers Commons that will include apartments for graduate and undergraduate students, retail stores, and study spaces. A $25 million parking garage with 1,200 spaces will be added to the main campus, along with 32 new student houses and cottages. These new construction projects contribute to the $400 million expansion that is looking to be completed by 2024 through 2025. This is truly extraordinary, and I can't wait to see the finished product. Well, that's all for this week's campus update. Once again, my name is Dior Whitfield, and I'll see you next time.
Can you believe that $100 million came from only like 3 families?
I cannot believe it. It's a lot of money, and Dr. Cubain keeps building, and we're going to see what happens in the next few years. We might not be there, but I'll definitely be able to come back.
I know, same here.
First, Uber, now Lyft, announced Monday they will be implementing a surcharge to offset the rising cost of gas. Currently, the national average has increased to over $4.33 for a regular gallon of gas. Uber and Lyft drivers depend on their own vehicles to make money and are vulnerable to any increase in gas prices. Lyft and Uber surcharges will go directly to drivers, the companies have stated. Last Friday, Uber announced new surcharges to be implemented as of today, March 16th, which would be in effect for 60 days. A ride fee will increase by 45 to 55 cents, and Uber Eats fees will increase by 35 to 45 cents, depending on the location. The exact surcharge amount for Lyft has yet to be determined and will also be in effect for up to 60 days upon the decision.
400 gallons of gas stolen from High Point gas station. Within the 45 minutes that Busy Bee Grocery and BP closed on Monday, about 15 cars began filling up their tanks with free gas. Petroleum technician Trey Barker of High Point says the thieves used a special remote to alter the mechanics of the gas pump to get the gas out. Gas theft is often seen when gas prices rise above $4 a gallon, such as prices we see today. The owner of the gas station, Hardik Patel, says he nearly lost $1,600 worth of gas. Patel wants the people who did this to be held responsible. Now over to you, Blake, with the sports.
Thanks, Anna. Coming back from break, an HPU All athletes soared to record-breaking heights. Plus, a look at what's ahead on the baseball diamond. Stay tuned. All Access will be right back.
How am I going to pay for this?
Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear, to drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because no matter your religion, gender, disability, age, race, all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Our sports reporter, Blake Woodard, has the up-to-date look on what's happening in the world of HPU athletics. Tell us what's up, Blake.
Thanks, Anna, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Blake Woodard. This past weekend, sophomore pole vaulter Sydney Horn competed in the Division I Indoor Track and Field National Championships, where she finished as a runner-up in the pole vault final. Horn set a lifetime best of 4.46 meters, which is both a school record and a Big South Conference record. Sydney and the rest of the Panther track and field athletes will now look towards the beginning of the outdoor season, which will begin here at HPU with the Bill Webb and Bob Davidson Memorial Competition at Vert Stadium. You can catch all the action either at the stadium or on ESPN+. Moving on to the turf, men's lacrosse traveled to Robert Morris last Friday, where they defeated the Colonials 13-11 on Sunday. They will face off against UNC Chapel Hill for one of their biggest home games of the season right here at Vert Stadium. And finally, moving on to the baseball diamond, the team was supposed to face off against West Virginia Mountaineers, but unfortunately the game was canceled due to weather. This weekend, they will travel to Boiling Springs to take on Gardner-Webb in a 3-game weekend series. That's all I have for you guys, but as always, you can catch all of the action on ESPN+. But for now, let's send it back to the desk with Anna and Brooke.
Thanks, Blake. Now we're joined at the desk by political correspondent Hannah Hunter. Hannah?
Thanks, Brooke. President Joe Biden called for the removal of normal trade relations with Russia on Friday as an effort to tighten sanctions over Russia's escalating invasion of Ukraine. Biden said he believed that this would be a massive negative impact for Russia's economy. Biden's proposal does require congressional approval and would put Russia's trade relationship with the United States at the same category as North Korea and Cuba's. Russia was the United States' 26th largest partner when it came to trading goods as of 2019, according to the U.S. Trade Representative, with almost $6 billion on exports and $22 billion on imports. According to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, the U.S. House will meet sometime this week to vote on the proposal. President Biden said, quote, "The free world is coming together to confront Putin," and, quote, "We are going to continue to squeeze Putin." So what do you guys think about this proposal? Do you think it'll pass in the House? It does have the support of both Democrats and Republicans.
I would say that I'm not sure if it's going to pass or not, but I definitely think that as long as the U.S. is kind of staying out of relations with Russia, I think that it could cause a lot less hostileness in the United States. What about you?
I think that the same thing as well. I think that if we stop the war, it will allow us not to have the troops come in.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But over in Florida, Disney has announced they will be pausing all of their political donations in the state in the midst of a bill that will restrict the topic of LGBTQ+ issues and the discussion of those issues in schools. What has been called the Don't Say Gay bill is expected to be signed into law by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and will prohibit teachers from teaching about gender and sexual identity up through 3rd grade and will limit discussions on what is deemed, quote, age appropriate, though the bill does not specify what this means, from 4th grade on. Over the weeks following the announcement of the bill, Disney received a lot of backlash for staying quiet. Disney CEO Bob Chapek released a statement to Disney employees on Friday announcing they would be reassessing their political donation policies, and also announced that they would be increasing their support for advocacy groups in other states fighting similar laws. "You need me to be a stronger ally in the fight for equal rights, and I let you down," Chapek said, apologizing to employees for not saying anything sooner. Governor DeSantis responded by criticizing the company and their, quote, woke ideologies. According to Popular Information and independent accountability journalism newsletter, Disney has given $300,000 to backers of this proposed bill in the past 2 years.
Thanks for the update, Hannah. Coming back from the break, we take a look at your weather for the week.
And hear from a student leader who's made a big impact on campus. All Access will be right back.
How am I going to pay for this?
Myth. I can party with people as long as they don't have symptoms. That myth is false. As we've seen, up to 40% of people who have COVID-19 are asymptomatic and can pass it on to others. So I'd recommend avoiding any social parties, especially indoor ones. If you want to try to socialize but reduce your risk, I'd recommend meeting outside in small groups, continuing to wear a mask, and socially distancing from others if you can. Then together, we can keep COVID-19 out of school.
For ways to keep your community safe, go to backtoschooltogether.com.
Baby, you see, you're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go. Baby, never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
gonna let you go.
America, land of the free. It's at the core of who we are. Freedom. The freedom to live without fear, to drive through all 50 states, to sleep safely in our own beds, the freedom to jog where we please, to watch birds in the park, to wear a hoodie, the freedom to breathe.
Welcome back to All Access. It's time for this week's Student Spotlight. Let's head over to Lizbeth Ramirez with today's special guest.
Thank you, Brooke. Welcome to this week's Student Spotlight. I'm Lizbeth Ramirez. Today we have Deandra Williams with us. Welcome, Deandra.
Hi.
It's nice to have you here.
I'm
How
happy
are
to be
you?
here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So let's just get right into it. You are the Vice President of BSU. Can you tell us about the club and what BSU even stands for?
So BSU stands for the Black Student Union, and we're a predominantly but not exclusive African American organization here on High Point University's campus. And our main goal is to basically just provide a safe space for our students. Since the school is heavily white, I feel like it's important to provide a space where people like us, minority students, can just be ourselves and have a good time.
That's so cool. So this past month was, of course, Black History Month, the shortest month, sadly, but probably one of the best. How did you guys celebrate?
So in BSU fashion, we had stuff all month, but the biggest event that we had in Black History Month was our first ever Black and Bling Gala. It was basically just a huge event, black tie, where people came out dressed up and we had an amazing guest speaker, we had hosts, we had awards, we had music and dancing, a plated dinner, and it was just a really good opportunity for people to just come out for the first time and just get to see Black excellence in full force.
Right. I mean, you guys even had an astronaut.
Yeah, that was our guest speaker,
That
Joan
was super
Higginbotham.
cool. Yeah. So what was that planning process like, especially because it was the first of its kind here at High Point University?
So I definitely, like Michaela and I, our president, we always joke about like how the people after us are gonna have it so much easier because it was such a task. I think, especially with Michaela, like she's such a big thinker, like she's such a dreamer. So to like literally think something and then write it down is so much easier than to actually like have it come all together.
Right.
So there was so much to do. And I feel like we have an amazing board, but at the same time, like for a bunch of 21 and 20-year-olds to come together and put together basically like a huge like wedding, it was such a task, but it was so rewarding and so worth it in the moment.
Oh, and it was amazing. It was really, really a good time to be there and very, very inspiring. So what do you think the impact is for people of color to go to all these events, and what is the impact that BSU has on them?
So I know for me personally, I've been a student here for 4 years. I'm a graduating senior, and there's been a lot of times where I felt excluded on campus. Like I'm by myself, like there's nowhere that I can go. And I like to believe that the Black Student Union provides that place for students to go. Like whether it's you have something serious you want to talk about, like you can come to our club, come to our EC members and talk, or if you just want to literally just gossip, like talk about what's in the news, like talk about music, like we range from things like seriousness to just wanting to have someone to have lunch with. And I think that's really important, especially on a campus like this where the representation is so small.
Right, yeah, I can definitely attest to that. So switching gears a little bit, you do a lot of writing as a journalism major, and you like to highlight the voices of those who don't have, those big voices on campus, especially Black students. What's your favorite piece that you've written, and how has this given you a platform on campus?
So I would have to say my favorite piece that I've written was probably my multimedia story titled Being Black at a PWI. And I kind of took it from my own personal narrative about being a Black student here, but then I took it to the next level and kind of just highlighted voices of other students on campus. So there were freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, and they all shared their voices with me. And I just put it all together in one big story, and I just thought it was so interesting, like how willing people were to like open up and like speak about experiences. And there were things about people that I was close with that I didn't even know that they experienced on this campus. So I feel like with students, especially underrepresented students, if you give them that platform, they're going to be more than willing to speak about it. So I was glad that I was able to highlight their voices in that piece.
That is really, really amazing. It was so good to have you here, Deandra. I hope that the rest of your months here, your last few months go well, and graduation is just around the corner, and I wish you all the best, especially with BSU.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we have today. Back to you, Brooke.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Now let's head over to Christy Hribar for a look at our weather. Christy.
Thanks, Brooke. I'm Christy Rebar here to give you a look at our weather. But first, let's take a look at our headlines. As you can tell right now, it is raining outside, so be sure to grab that umbrella because it's going to be continuing throughout the morning. But don't worry, things are going to be heating up into the 70s and it's going to be sunny all next week. Now look at our 7-day forecast. You can see that tomorrow is going to be cloudy with a high of 70 and a low of 44. And then Friday, Saturday with highs of 72. And then Sunday, Monday, it's going to be partly cloudy with high of 64 and high of 69. And Tuesday and Wednesday, it's going to be sunny with highs of 71 and 70 and lows of 57 and 58. That's all for All Access weather. Back to you guys at the desk.
Get lucky this St. Patrick's Day on finding your new furry friend. It is now cheaper to adopt a pet in Guilford County at the Guilford County Animal Resource Center this St. Patrick's Day. The center is holding a St. Patrick's Day event where prices will range from $3 to $17 on each pet. The center is open from 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. and there will be a food truck for all to enjoy as you browse the different pets to adopt. The Guilford County Animal Resource Center is located at 980 Guilford College Road in Greensboro.
Luck has struck again in Fayetteville, North Carolina with another $100,000 Powerball winner, the second winner in 10 months. Fayetteville father and finance director Stephen Coleman plans to take his daughter to Disney World with his Powerball winnings. The recent winning ticket was purchased at the time at Market on South McPherson Church Road in Fayetteville. With a 1 in 913,129 chance of matching with 4 white balls, he beat the odds. Matching the numbers on the 4 white balls and Powerball on a $3 Powerball play ticket, he won $50,000, which doubled to $100,000 with the 2-time multiplayer. After taxes, he took home $71,017 and plans to have the trip of his lifetime this summer. Powerball is one of 4 lottery games in North Carolina, which includes Mega Millions. Luckily for Life and Carolina Cash, 5, and he has raised more than $900 million yearly towards education. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. Join us next time, same place. For HPU All Access, I'm Brooke Ruffin.
And I'm Anna Harris. Have a great week, High Point.